Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Panzer Strategy, where I will be guiding you through the different missions in a walkthrough style format, and also, make you make an LP out of it. So it's there for entertainment purposes as well. Either way, last mission went fairly well. Did make a minor mistake, which also did cost us dearly, unfortunately. Well, it didn't matter too much, I suppose. Cost me about a 100 prestige, though, which, oh well. Either way, I already bought my new troops and upgraded the ones that I already had in the previous mission, giving me the following setup, at least for the next mission, which is Weiss. I have my recon, or my commander unit still, which now has +2 initiative as well, so we can see here the initiative here. I still have 2 tanks, but I upgraded them. They were Panzer Ace first, and now it's a Panzer IV and a Panzer III. I got 1 recon, 1 puck, anti-aircraft gun. I have 2 artillery pieces, 15 centimeter and a 10.5 one. Bought an extra Pioneer and another fighter. That's pretty much what I have so far. So I do have 87 points left for the HQ experience. I did buy the frontline artillery ability in a previous episode. And I have 22 command points left in order to activate that whenever I want. Either way, this means that the artillery can shoot again, which is a good ability to have. Either way, let's go over and see what these guys have to say, because between each mission they do have something different to say. Let's just start with Halder here.
I do not approve of the Führer's desire for war, yet I must admit he has done many things for the sake of Germany, with just the elimination of the special status of the Rhineland, the Anschluss of Austria, and of course, the Munich Agreement. England and France only gave Germany a piece of Czechoslovakia, but it is a very well fortified part. Our Führer is an excellent politician. However, it would have been better if he had continued with politics and not with military affairs.
Okay, so he doesn't actually want war. Kind of foreshadowing the stance Halder takes in all of this. He's been very problematic throughout World War II, at least in a way, not really defying Hitler, but kind of just pushing through his own plans, which hasn't worked out that well for Germany. But let's see what we can make of Second World War here ourselves. If we click Manstein, then basically we just go to this screen, so he has nothing to say throughout this LP. Let's go for Guderian next.
Panzerwaffe is an excellent tool for maneuvering warfare, but it is not designed to break through fortified lines. German tanks have good maneuverability, but insufficient armor and firepower. When approaching Polish fortifications, it is necessary to level them to the ground with artillery and aircraft, and only then send tank forces into attack.
Well, you shouldn't forget the anti-aircraft guns, though those can be pretty nasty. Let's check Rommel next. And his voice is really mixed up, so I'm just messed up, so I'm just gonna read it. The collision with Soviet armored vehicles in Spain showed how insufficient the firepower for tanks really is. What if the enemy has tanks with even thicker armor? Obviously, we have to use large caliber anti-aircraft artillery to destroy such targets. Right, I don't know what happened to his voice, but it's a bit messed up. Maybe he just doesn't dare to speak up, he's just too shy. Who knows? Either way, if we look at the global map, we actually get to see all the territory that we took, even though the picture here always stays the same. So if we click it, we actually get to see all the things that we've conquered, and the Axis allied countries, things like that. So far, we only have Germany, Slovakia, and Austria. But we'll see this map change throughout the campaign here. Either way, the next mission is Operation Weiss. In this case, I would guess it's Weiss, obviously. So let's go into the cringe-worthy introductionary video here, although I'm sure that it will up the historical content of this game. Let's just get into it here.
As for today, our first priority is to restore the unity of the German nation. Collect all the territories inhabited by the Germans under the rule of the Reich. This is the only way we can protect each and every German.
Are you talking about the Polish corridor?
Yes.
But we're not ready yet. Poland is linked to England and France by an allied treaty. We will be forced to wage war on two fronts.
We can only expect victory if we manage to cope with Poland before its allies enter the war.
The Poles will have to fight on two fronts. The Bolsheviks will not stand aside.
There is every reason to believe that an attack on Poland will not force England and France to enter the war.
In no way does the German nation seek war. We have one goal: to ensure freedom for the Germans and to protect the property of German families. Who has the right to blame us for this?
Nobody has the right, and I really like how Halder was complaining again. We're not ready. Well, I'm sure we'll see more of that in the future.
Your orders from the Oberkommando. The Operation Weiss calls for an offensive of our forces against Poland from 3 locations of advancement. Army Group Nord will advance from German territory. Army Group South will advance from Silesia, while parts of the Group Nord will advance from Eastern Prussia. During the offensive, the Polish capital, Warsaw, must be captured by an offensive assault. The bridgeheads on the west bank of the Vistula River must be taken. Also, you must take the central station in the eastern bank of the Vistula. The shortest route to Warsaw is from Eastern Prussia. According to intelligence from our reconnaissance units, this region of the Polish border is guarded by the Modlin Army, which is based in newly modernized fortifications near the town of Mlawa. In addition to the capture in the capital, our forces must also seize Krakow, Lodz, Sandomierz. During the offensive, groups of the Army Group Nord must capture the Polish corridor, which separates East Prussia from the rest of Germany. The Polish government has stated that in any case of Germany attempting to establish control over Danzig, it will proceed to direct military action. It is recommended you capture the Polish military transit supply depot in Westerplatte, in the northern part of Danzig. The Schleswig-Holstein battleship has entered the Bay of Danzig, and it is ready to provide fire support to the offensive. The invasion of Poland must be carried out as swiftly and decisively as possible, in full accordance with the Blitzkrieg doctrine of our armed forces. The Polish forces must not be given any time to mobilize. Additionally, keep in mind that the Red Army may also invade Poland from the east without notice. According to the German-Soviet non-aggression pact, the Red Army must occupy Lviv and Brest. However, the Führer will be happy if, due to a successful offensive, our troops got a little carried away and would occupy these cities before the Communists. Do not be afraid of a clash with the Red Army. An agreement between our countries excludes this possibility. Later, we can give those territories back, but on our terms. Moreover, the lightning offensive could be an excellent demonstration of the Wehrmacht's combat capabilities, which in turn will help our Soviet friends to be more cooperative in trade issues.
And take these territories we will. As we start here with the main map, I'll be going over my strategy and deployment strategy as well first. So we received our orders, seizing all victory hexes, take the Polish Westerplatte supply depot and occupy Brest and Lviv before turn 12 when the Red Army troops have advanced to them. And what this last objective does is it will actually give us a boost in the amount of prestige that we'll get at the end of each mission. So it's kind of like a multiplier for your prestige for each mission until we are at war with the Soviet Union. So that's pretty nice, and I think that you definitely want to prioritize getting that secondary objective whenever possible. Even potentially getting that over a gold victory if you need it. Of course, I'll be trying to go for a golden victory regardless. Either way, that's it for that objective. The Polish Westerplatte Supply Depot gives you free equipment, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty nice as well. I believe it's some French mortars. Yeah, so you also want to be going for that. Now, as for my deployment and strategy. For this mission, I'll be dividing my troops up into 3 groups. Army Group North, over there, Army Group Center, and Army Group South, if you will. That's just an easy name for me. What will these 3 different groups do? This group down here will be moving down this road, then south. Trying to cross the Wisła River and capturing Krakow and Sandomierz, as well as Lvov, depending on the amount of time. Besides that, they'll be trying to go for the city of Katowice, which will also give us plenty of prestige. There are 3 flags here, so that should give us about 100, which is really good. But it's very heavily defended. The reason why it's so problematic is because artillery can't shell over these mountain regions, and that means that the only access point through the city, at least for the artillery shelling, is on the east, and that's where your artillery needs to be. And then still you have to pound the defenses here. You can't use your aircraft, as there's an anti-aircraft gun there, which will prevent you from using the bombers. Combined with the difficult use of artillery, makes this a tough nut to crack, but I will definitely try. Either way, these forces will therefore receive at the very least a 2nd artillery in order to blast their way through this region. They also have to cross the river, which is especially difficult to do. I'll be giving these guys a 2nd infantry, and besides that they will also receive the Panzer 4C. So I'm making this into a very tough force. I will also put my command unit in there to give these guys a little bit of a boost. These forces will also, if necessary, move upon Lutsk as a side objective in order to aid the forces which are in the center. Now the forces in the center will first of all receive a 2nd fighter because, well, I say the 1st fighter because there's no fire here. Either way, the forces in the center don't have any infantry, so I definitely will give them that. They already have 1 artillery, and unfortunately that's all they'll get for this mission at least. I'll give them the AT gun. But that's pretty much it. This is a very small force. The reason for that is that they have to break through Poznan and then move upon Lutsk. Then they will go for Warsaw as well, but they have much less to do than any of my other forces. They have the easiest task. They will also have the smallest force here. So that's pretty much what they are going to do. That they are going to strike through the center and head towards Warsaw. These forces up here will only receive... yeah, I can actually deploy a unit here. 1 recon unit. Why am I going to do this? It's still unknown, but the unit which is up here at Gdynia is an artillery unit. So if I want to attack in this region, I have to pretty much take out the artillery first, because, well, actually,
you can view detailed information about your
now that
unit,
I'm thinking about it,
its
I actually
experience
don't need
level,
to deploy it.
specifications,
What I need
skills,
to do
and
is I need to
special
destroy that
abilities,
artillery
strength,
unit
its
with the
ammo and
Schleswig-Holstein
fuel quantity,
first,
and its
and then
availability
later
of
on...
additional weapons and vehicles.
Right, let's go over that again because, you know, that talk is actually pretty loud. As I was saying, there's an artillery here, so I need to blast this thing with the Schleswig-Holstein first, and then I get to attack in this region. So I pretty much have to wait with engaging these forces, although I could definitely send these guys south. Let the enemy take this hex and then retake it. Could actually do that. Either way, I need to destroy the artillery first, which is up here, so I kind of need to pay attention to that and destroy it with Schleswig-Holstein and then keep on going in this region. Schleswig-Holstein can't move past the bridge, so its action radius is limited. It has a range... yeah, Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Does it show me the range actually of this gun? No. The spotting value. Yeah, it doesn't show anything about the gun range, unfortunately. Either way, it can move past the bridge, so its action radius is limited. It could operate pretty much only on this area. The last group which I'll have is up here, and this force is going to be the main force, which is actually not going to tackle the Malawa defenses, but is rather going around Malawa. So first going to Suwalki, and then from there moving south towards Bialystok, and then joining or going into a joint assault against Brest and Warsaw. Afterwards trying to get as far south as possible after capturing those objectives. So the force up here is going to be pretty powerful as well. It's going around the fortifications and then spearheading south towards Warsaw and Brest, and potentially even further south, depending on what's necessary and how the other groups are doing as well. It's pretty much, making up as you go along. Not necessarily in the way that, you're just making it up as we go, as we do have a main strategy in mind, but it just depends on how quick the other units are to advance. Now, these guys already have an anti-aircraft gun. I actually want to place the last anti-aircraft gun down south, as they don't have any. They have only the fighter currently. Either way, we do have this 88mm anti-aircraft flak over here. So, I will probably keep that as a defense, although I don't think it will be necessary, but we'll see. Either way, that's it for the deployment. Let's just get into the battle here. Alright, so let's start up with the northern section first. And like I said, I already know this is an artillery. Like I said before, this is a walkthrough kind of format, so I don't have very detailed information about everything on the map, but there are some things that I already know before, and I definitely know this is an artillery.
Ships could be equipped with main battery and secondary naval guns, anti-aircraft guns, anti-submarine depth charges, torpedoes, and sonars. Most types of naval weapons can be used twice per turn. When choosing a ship, all of its weapons are displayed in the right panel under the minimap. To select a specific type of weapon for attack, click the left mouse button on its icon. Otherwise, the weapon selection will be made automatically.
Yes, and you can see indeed here on the lower right that the Schleswig-Holstein has 3 guns, the main guns, which it can fire at enemy units on the ground and at sea, which can fire twice because of the 2 dots here, which are both green, indicating that I can still use both of these. And it has 2 anti-aircraft guns out there as well, so technically you could fire 4 times at enemy aircraft, but there's none around, so that's not gonna happen anytime soon. Either way, let's just blast this hidden unit here, which I've already revealed to be an artillery. And the funny thing is, it actually fired back, this artillery, but we can now see it, and it actually damaged my my anti-aircraft gun.
Battleships and cruisers are equipped with powerful main battery naval guns, capable of long-range target strikes. The secondary battery can also effectively repel torpedo attacks by destroyers. However, the lack of sonars make these ships vulnerable to submarines. Battleships and cruisers cannot detect submarines, and they require an escort of destroyers.
Exactly. Now, one nifty trick that I can do here is I can shift these guys up in order to attack the artillery soon. And then hopefully this unit will actually go into Danzig itself. So I actually get to take over this territory again later on and get some prestige for myself. So that's actually something that I want to do here. And I'm going to try the same with this part of Danzig as well, and actually liberate this infantry already. So I'm going to move these guys up here, and I'm going to use only the battleship and this 1 infantry in order to tackle these units down here, because I don't think I need more. And within the 8 turns that we have in order to get a gold victory, I want to make maximum use out of my units. So if this takes 8 turns in order to complete, I don't really care. Because these units will be sitting idle from turn 4 if I do it on turn 4. So there's no time, or there's no problem with me doing that in 8 turns. So I will try to do that as slowly as possible. Also note that, contrary to what they said earlier, occupy Brest and Lvov before turn 12, we actually need to do this before turn 8 in order to get a gold victory. Because if we do get the victory by getting all of the primary objectives, but we haven't completed the secondary objectives, they don't automatically go to having been achieved. No, we actually have to do everything before turn 8, unfortunately. Either way, we're on the northern group right now, so let's just advance into here first. And we already knew there was a unit here, but we didn't reveal any further information, and I'm guessing we won't. Did spot a unit there though. Either way, I can first of all shell it with the artillery. Without moving, luckily. And it is already destroyed, which is great. Now, all I need to do is make sure that my units will be safe. Now, the odds that this is an anti-aircraft gun are pretty much 0, so I'm already going to bomb this with the fighter. And then move up, and this already weakens it a bit, which means that my units can move further along quite nicely. I'll go and attack these guys as well, and make sure that my fighter is protecting the bomber. The rest of these forces can now proceed without fearing the enemy too much. As I already said, I want to move the anti-aircraft gun to the rear, definitely. Alright, let's use the tanks in order to capture the small depot here.
Be careful when you deploy your tanks in cities, mountainous and wooden terrain. In the event of a clash with the enemy infantry, your tanks will sustain heavy losses.
That they will, but I'm not going to engage the enemy like that. Either way, I will be moving my forces as fast as possible. This unit has already been damaged and I don't really see it getting out. So what I want to do is I definitely want to get my artillery up and going. It has to go through the woods. I don't want to put it at the front. But if I move into this spot, it can actually shell the unit which is out there. My unit won't be in supply, but I think this is an excellent position. I also, if we take a look here, we can see that the enemy bunkers don't have any movement points, and because of that we can actually determine already which of these units is a bunker and which one isn't. This unit here can move, so it must be a regular unit, whereas I actually think it's pretty interesting. Yeah, you can attack here. So we know that this is a bunker, this is a bunker, this is also a bunker, and here as well. But these and these are regular units. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to evacuate this area entirely and just move my 88 anti-aircraft gun over there as well. And hope that they won't invade. But I do have this infantry, technically. And if they do go, I can always take it back. So I'm not too worried there. Let's go to the center group, which also has their work cut out for them. First of all, though, I need to take down the unit at Poznan. I'm not too afraid of anti-aircraft guns here, and I think I want to use the recon in a little bit. So I'll bomb these guys first. Okay, and they will probably surrender here. That they did, giving me 20 prestige. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna keep the fighter around here as well. Now, I will be able first to occupy the city with the infantry. And I'm gonna do a little bit of scouting already. Just to see what's up. We do know that they have an infantry there too. And I can already shell it from this side. And destroy it in one go. Perfect. Alright. Now there are multiple locations here which I can safely enter without the enemy detecting me. First of all, I'll use the recon to enter here. And luckily we already detected this unit because I was a bit afraid that if we entered it, there might be one. I'm gonna get these guys into the city so the enemy doesn't detect me. But this is very revealing, so that's great. I do know that my tanks are quite powerful, so I'll be getting these guys out there without too much of a problem. And the one thing that I do want to keep hidden pretty much is my artillery. So if I move, well, I have to be quite careful here. I can block the enemy this way. They're very disinclined to get all the way around it. But I can move my artillery here, and then getting the anti-aircraft gun 1 hex closer. I think we're pretty good here this way. And I can always, yeah, I just have to gamble that these guys won't move in a very nasty way. Either way, like I said, I do have to recon down here, and it's a bit problematic because I know that they have a unit there. So I can't really just go through this region like that. I'll just have to move up like this and just kind of wait it out. Let's use the artillery here. Okay, so that unit is pretty much down already. What I need to do, though, can't move in through here. Let's just go all the way around. Alright, let's use the Panzer and make them surrender. And in here, I have to pretty much apply the same strategy. I need to make sure that my artillery, most of all, is safe. So I'll be moving in through this way, revealing also again another unit down there. And because I know that the enemy can't really do a whole lot in this section, I'm gonna move over down here with this artillery, and let's see. I'm probably inclined to use that infantry up north. I definitely don't want to use trucks here to go further yet. But I need to get these guys across. Yeah, they can no longer move. This is indeed a very tricky situation, because if I move them here and they just go down and attack, I'll be in a pickle. I definitely can't have that. Right, so let's make these guys cross on this side. Yeah, and I'll move these on the river hex. And these guys down here. What does that do? It means that I can move these guys and shell this unit here on the next turn, instead of having them out in the open. And then also I will keep the fighter over both of these, so they can protect at least the artillery, and I'll have these guys stay here too. Which units do I have left for moving? Nothing. Alright, let's end the first turn, see what the opponent will be up to.
Our air defenses caught the enemy pilots by surprise. Shoot down as many enemy planes as possible before they're able to pull themselves together.
Okay, well, that happened somewhere, and they did take it indeed. Okay, anti-aircraft gun. Ah, that's pretty nasty. No damage though. And there was a very specific reason why I protected my artillery here, so that worked out very well. Alright, let's continue with the second turn. Like I said before, I'll keep blasting the artillery. And afterwards use my infantry out here to attack it. Destroy it. And we'll take this position on the next turn. They took the seaport, as I predicted. They're probably also going to go for this lower section. But like I said, I have 8 turns to destroy these units, and I'm just working on it here. Seems like none of the enemy forces did anything here, although there was a unit... No, actually not. No, indeed. Okay. And this flag can actually attack here. And destroy them. I'm gonna... Yeah, that was very useful. Okay. Well, up next is this unit down here. As I already said, I can already shell these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, my artillery is perfectly placed. They're demoralized and are already fleeing. Which indicates to me that I can now simply... moving the recon... Sure. Moving the recon here, make them surrender, giving me some intelligence, revealing this to be an artillery piece, French origin, and they also have an artillery down here with range 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have to be careful of that, so we know that within a range of 4 they can actually shell things. Don't know if there's something here, but I'll move these guys further along. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good reveal right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They could move the artillery, but I don't think they will be very inclined to do so. So I'll just rather move ahead here as much as possible once again. While of course protecting my artillery. I'll keep them in the back. Yeah, they will have to move through the forest anyway. Although, there's now one difficult choice, and I think, actually, that what I'm gonna do is get the artillery in the woods and the infantry in trucks up front. I don't think the enemy is gonna be able to see anything in here, go out and attack. I don't think they're gonna do that. And from this side, they'll actually be blocked by my recon and my Panzer IIA. So I think from this side, we're actually golden. Now the only thing that we need to worry about is whether they have anti-aircraft guns here. I do have my own bomber, which could try to attack this. I know that these two aren't anti-aircraft guns, but it's again, it's pretty risky. So I'm just gonna wait on that for a bit and just see what happens around here. Okay, once again, these guys have to move 1 hex and then attack it. That's fine. So that's a fighter down. And then down here, I purposefully indeed protected my artillery. And I can't attack it with the anti-aircraft, but I can use my fighter here and use them to good effect.
This target is protected by enemy fire planes.
Yeah, they're both fighters. At least that's how it looks. It's a bit weird. But I didn't take any damage. Maybe I saw that incorrectly. Well, regardless of how it is, how the situation is, what I want to do is I want to attack from this side on that fighter, because then I can actually bomb these targets down here. And as I said before, there aren't really any anti-aircraft in this location. I can actually go here, bomb that, and then move into this hex. Same thing I will apply to this bomber, which will attack the bunker, destroy it, and move into this hex as well. And that did reveal an enemy tank. Either way, I'm going to use the fighter now down here and attack the Polish fighter. Well, that did not turn out exactly the way I had hoped, as it was a 0-6 situation, but well, you can't really do anything about those kind of about the odds in this way, so well, too bad. Either way, things did go fairly well around here, but now I have to move further ahead. I have to deal with the AT gun. Now, the odds from those guys are 1 in 4, which is decent, but Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you guys can shell there too. So if I shell the AT gun, I have to get out of my comfort zone, and even with these tanks, it's not that big of a deal. Simply, yeah, because of the placement of enemy units, I just kind of have to do this anyway. Enemy unit down. Excellent. I did bomb this unit already once before, and I'm going to use the artillery here again. They're demoralized and are fleeing. Again, that... Okay, so another anti-tank gun. I could actually move this infantry quite a... Oh, they're pioneers, but they have a... crazy movement. Because they have an armored troop carrier. Ah. Oh. Yeah, okay, you can't actually see how that works. It's hard to see because if I move in here with them, I believe it's actually by carrier. Although it's very hard to see, but from this angle I think you can. So that is not the greatest. What if I use a tank to destroy them? They would get destroyed too. Alright. Well, let's just first of all move you 1 hex ahead. And as you can see, I can't actually shell them here. There's no line of fire. So that's not working out too well. Can't really see what the damage is on that tank, so I have to be really careful to make sure that my units don't get attacked here, as my units will get outflanked very quickly like this. Though I think in this case, let's see, because you are better against infantry and these guys are better against tanks. If I go in here, yeah, that's still pretty good odds. So I'm gonna move in here and attack it. And actually surrendered, giving me a lot of points. We know this is a bunker because it doesn't have any movement points, which is again really good. And I need to go and protect my artillery pieces while they are moving, because the enemy cannot really cross these mountains very well, and they're probably not going to do that. I think that if I again put up a wall of units to protect my artillery, I can actually move them quite well. So I don't expect any counterattacks coming from here. Let's just move in here first. And the enemy doesn't really seem to have anything down there. So indeed, that's very good. So if I want to get up close into that area, that's not really something that I can do. This is clear road terrain. Alright, what I'll do, I'll get... Yeah, I have to move this infantry south too. They definitely need to keep going. I will get the artillery out in here. And that means I'm going to have to put the tanks in here to protect them. I'm putting this artillery... Yeah, I'll put this infantry over in this rough terrain. This artillery down here. And then these guys in the carrier, the troop carriers over in this location. So they are blocking the route for the artillery. These tanks could go down and attack down there. But currently there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I'll just move this recon a bit first. Another enemy. Need to get more information. And another enemy. 4 movement left. More enemies. So they're definitely up for a counterattack, I think. I'll have to again be careful. Let's move you into the woods. Get you up ahead. And these guys cannot not move. So I'm gonna move the artillery. I have to move it up here in order to be able to attack on the next turn, which is a tad dangerous. But I'm gonna have to take a few risks. We don't know whether there's anti-aircraft gun here, but I don't think there is. I'm gonna have to make a bit of a gamble trying to look at how things are there with the recon. Let's just see for now though which troops are still left. The anti-aircraft gun. Infantry, which will again be lagging behind, so probably not too useful actually to move it, because these troops are just so much faster, and I think because of that I'll just move it back here across the bridge and see what happens, what the enemy does. Okay, oh wow, I wanted to select these guys. Okay, I have to be careful then. Let's just go in and destroy that for a turn, just to stay out of sight and end the turn here. Okay, tank indeed coming out, doing a lot of damage to the carrier. Oh wow, another fighter. It's unexpected. Some artillery and a recon now coming out to attack these guys, dealing 1 damage. Okay, yeah, that's tough, but not the end of the world. Either way, I'm gonna end the video here, so I want to thank you for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this first part of the mission. And if you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I will see you all for the second part of this walkthrough of the Operation Weiss. So thanks for watching, and see you all next time.